The morning sky over Shanghai was a muted gray, a smooth blanket of clouds stretching endlessly across the horizon. The private jet pierced through it silently before descending toward the runway, its polished wings catching what little light the dawn allowed. Inside, in the soft hum of the cabin, Dr. Amara Lawson reviewed the final set of documents for what was supposed to become one of the largest biotech partnerships in Asia. $700 million. Years of research investment. A deal that would define the next decade of global health innovation. But Amara didn't look like someone carrying the weight of a historic corporate agreement. She didn't dress to impress. She wore a minimal black wool coat, her hair tied back loosely, no designer logos, no flashy displays of wealth. Her presence was quiet, yet powerful in a way only those who truly understood leadership could recognize. Her assistant, Mark, glanced over with a nervous half-smile. "You ready for today?" Amara closed the folder softly. "I was ready 2 years ago. Today is just the paperwork." The cabin door unsealed with a hiss. Cold air swept inside as the stairs extended downward. Amara stood, collected her leather-bound notebook, and stepped out into the morning, heels touching the metal steps with the calm rhythm of a woman who had crossed many thresholds far more intimidating than a runway. On the tarmac, 3 men in gray coats approached briskly. They didn't smile. They didn't extend their hands. Instead, the tallest one squinted at her, then turned to the others and muttered something in Mandarin. The ride from the airport to the Longway Corporation headquarters took nearly an hour, threading through the dense early morning traffic of the city. The 3 men spoke occasionally, sometimes about the meeting, sometimes about trivial office gossip, but never once addressed Amara as anything more than she or the American girl. When they arrived, Zhang Wei, apparently the one in charge of escorting them, gestured toward the entrance. "Assistant, wait here," he said to Amara. "You go with him," he added, pointing at Mark. Mark stuttered. "Oh, sir, she's—" Zhang cut him off. "I said what I said." Amara stepped forward. "It's fine, Mark. Go ahead. I'll be right behind you." He gave her a look filled with apology and frustration. But she nodded calmly. Inside the marble-floored lobby, towering LED screens displayed Longway's projects: energy, agriculture, pharmaceuticals. Employees moved with the precision of a well-oiled machine. Zhang waved to the receptionist. "Meeting preparation," he barked. "Bring contracts." The receptionist hurried away, returning with a stack of documents thicker than Amara's forearm. She glanced at Amara with confusion, clearly realizing the mistake, but said nothing, too intimidated to correct her superior. Zhang shoved the papers toward Mark. "Review these. Your CEO needs to understand the terms." Amara reached out and took them instead. Zhang rolled his eyes. "She can hold them. It's fine. Someone has to." The receptionist swallowed hard. Amara flipped through the papers slowly, her fingertips moving with intentional grace. Her reading speed was noticeably faster than Zhang expected, but he did not pay enough attention to notice the danger building right in front of him. The elevator ascended to the 52nd floor, where carved wooden doors opened into the grand boardroom. Gold dragons curved along the ceiling beams. A red silk tapestry hung behind the central seat reserved for Chairman Longway. The room buzzed with low chatter, assistants whispering, screens flickering with graphs and projections. "CEO Lawson hasn't arrived yet?" one executive asked. Zhang snorted. "Still at the airport, I think. She probably needed coffee or something." Several executives laughed politely. Amara walked past them. Nobody stopped her. One whispered, "New service staff?" Another, "No, maybe translator." Only one person in the room knew the truth. Mark. And he stood like someone handcuffed, desperate to shout but unable to break protocol. Chairman Longway entered, his presence commanding instant silence. Silver hair combed back, dark suit tailored sharply. "Let's begin shortly," he said. "We are waiting for Dr. Lawson." Everyone nodded. Zhang checked his watch dramatically. If her team were more organized, she would already be here. Amara finally lifted her gaze from the documents and looked directly at him. Her eyes were calm, almost serene, but beneath the surface a fire. And this was only the beginning. Amara took a seat at the very end of the long lacquered table. Far from the center, far from the spotlight, exactly where they seemed to expect her to belong. She folded her coat neatly, placed the documents in front of her, and positioned herself like an assistant waiting for instructions. But her eyes scanned every face, every gesture, every whispered comment in Mandarin. The executives assumed she was harmless. A background character, furniture with hands. But Amara was collecting everything. Every insult, every assumption, every strategic miscalculation. And the more she watched, the more obvious it became. Longway Corporation wasn't just disrespectful, they were dangerously arrogant. One executive leaned toward Zhang. "Are we still pushing the 17% increase in control rights?" "Yes," Zhang replied. "Her company will accept it. What choice do they have? Their CEO is already desperate for this partnership." Amara turned a page, quietly, but with the intensity of a guillotine blade dropping. She spoke softly to Mark. "Page 74. Clause 9 is illegal under international joint venture law. Circle it." Mark tried to hide his shock. "You're memorizing this right now?" "I've memorized the last 20 pages, she whispered. His pen froze. She had only been reading for 12 minutes. Zhang attempted to regain control. "Dr. Lawson, perhaps we can make minor adjustments." Amara cut him off with a calm, unwavering gaze. "Minor adjustments? You assumed my company would accept 17% less control in the joint venture? You assumed I would ignore clauses violating intellectual property law." The words hung in the air like thunder. Every executive shifted uncomfortably, realizing they had miscalculated in a way that could cost them everything. She leaned forward, flipping to a new section. Clause 21. Mandatory reassignment of patents developed over the next 5 years. Illegal under international agreements. Clause 32. Unilateral profit distribution. Unacceptable. Clause 47. Forced technology transfer. Illegal in 2 jurisdictions. Mark scribbled notes frantically. "Amara, you've memorized all this?" "I've read it once," she replied softly. "I've been preparing for this meeting since the moment they underestimated me at the airport." Chairman Longway cleared his throat, visibly unnerved. We did not intend." "Intent is irrelevant," she said, her tone sharp, each word slicing through the tension. "Contracts are law, and I do not negotiate from a position of weakness." She turned to the entire room. "You treated me as a subordinate. You assumed ignorance. You assumed silence. And yet, here I am, fully aware of your tactics." Whispers ran across the room in Mandarin, but Amara's piercing stare silenced them before they could fully form. Zhang's hands trembled slightly on the table. "I will continue the negotiation," she said, "but on my terms, not yours. Every clause must comply with international law. Every assumption of inferiority will be corrected immediately." The room's atmosphere changed instantly. No longer a routine negotiation, but a battlefield. Every executive instinctively knew they were on the defensive. Amara flipped to the section labeled Revised Addendum. Her eyes scanned rapidly. "These assumptions are entirely unacceptable," she said. She tapped her pen for emphasis. "Your team assumed we would accept terms that strip intellectual property rights from our scientists. That violates multiple treaties. That violates ethics." Zhang opened his mouth, but she raised a hand. "Do not speak unless you are prepared to offer legally sound corrections. You have underestimated me. That ends now." Chairman Longway leaned forward, his composure cracking. "Dr. Lawson, perhaps we can renegotiate." "No," she interrupted. "This is not a negotiation of your choosing. The $700 million deal exists only under compliance with law and ethics. I will not allow my company to be bullied, nor will I allow my scientists' work to be stolen." One junior executive whispered, "她真的要取消他们的交易." She's really going to cancel the deal. Amara's gaze swept across the room. Indeed, if these terms are not corrected, this deal will be terminated immediately. The air was electric. Phones were pulled out. Executives started calculating, consulting lawyers, trying to find a way to salvage the partnership. Every assumption of dominance they held had been obliterated. Mark leaned close. Amara, do you really mean it? She did not hesitate. Every word. I would rather walk away than compromise my company, my ethics, or my scientists. Amara stood fully now, the documents neatly stacked before her. She tapped each one in turn. Clause by clause, your assumptions are illegal or unethical. I cannot approve this agreement in its current form. Chairman Longwei's face went pale. $700 million. This partnership. Amara's tone was steady, unwavering. A partnership built on exploitation is no partnership at all. You treated me as a servant. You assumed ignorance. And yet, you handed me the tools to see everything. This deal is cancelled. Effective immediately. There was a collective intake of breath. Phones clicked off. Whispers erupted. Assistants gasped. Zhang Wei slumped in his chair, speechless. Mark exhaled, relieved. You actually did it. Yes, she replied. Her eyes scanned the boardroom. Because power is not claimed by arrogance. It is claimed by clarity, preparation, and integrity. Remember that. Chairman Longwei's eyes hardened. Do you leave no room for compromise? Amara's gaze did not waver. Not at the cost of law or principle. This is non-negotiable. If you wish to continue discussions, they must be within legal and ethical bounds. Until then, this agreement is null. The room fell silent. No one moved. Every executive now understood. The rules had changed, and Amara had written them. Amara gathered her coat and notebook. She walked calmly out of the boardroom, each step deliberate, echoing softly against the marble floors. Mark followed, a quiet shadow beside her. Outside, the Shanghai skyline stretched beneath a pale sunset. Traffic glimmered like veins of light, the city alive, indifferent, yet suddenly her stage. She paused, looking out at the horizon, the wind lifting a strand of hair. $700 million had been cancelled, yet no fear lingered, only control. Only clarity, only triumph earned through preparation and intellect. Her reflection caught in the glass of the skyscraper. She adjusted her coat. A slow smile crept across her face. In the world of global business, the cards had been dealt. And Dr. Amara Lawson? She had rewritten the rules.